Why does the body want you to stay in a familiar place of fear and stress when it's not the most optimal place to be in this physical world?
Because the emotions cause us to see the future through the lens of the past, because the emotion is a record of the past. So you're always planning for the worst thing to happen when you're in that state. So the body has been conditioned to be the mind, the servant is the master, and the programs like, how do you open a doorknob? Well, you may not consciously remember, but you'd go, oh, you do it this way. Well, your body knows how to do it better than your conscious mind. That's 95% of who we are is those automatic behaviors, emotional responses. So the end product of an experience in the environment is an emotion. So the body's so objective that when it's living in an emotional state, it's believing it's living the same past experience 24 hours a day. So not knowing it consciously, the person, when they surrendered the emotion, they overcame the emotion, they no longer signal the same genes in the same way. If they're no longer behaving the same way, there's behavior-dependent genes that are no longer a signal. There are experience-dependent genes. If you stop having the same experiences, you'll stop signaling those same genes. And genes make proteins. And proteins are responsible for the structure and function of your body. And the expression of proteins is the expression of life. So without knowing it, they changed. They became so conscious of their unconscious thoughts, behaviors, and emotions that they wouldn't go unconscious in their waking day. They knew that that old self had to be retired. And how many times do we have to forget until we stop forgetting and start remembering? Really, that's the moment of change, right? So they went through that dark night of change and making a different choice and stepping into the unknown. And of course, the body wants to be in the familiar because we've been conditioned that the unknown is a dangerous place. I mean, you run from the unknown when you're living in survival. So taking a chance in the unknown, if you're living in stress and living in survival, goes against what's programmed in our biology in terms of survival. Cling to the known and wait for the threat or danger to go over. But for the most part, if the body's addicted to the emotion, it's going to be constantly obsessing about the worst case scenario in our life. So breaking the addiction, the body goes through cravings, and they went through those periods where they had a neurological, a biological, a chemical, a hormonal, and genetic death of the old self. They were no longer thinking the same thoughts that made the same chemicals that created the same feelings that signaled the same genes. They were no longer firing and wiring the same circuits. And so there was dissonance going on in the brain as the brain was breaking apart its circuitry and loosening up its connections. That dissonance is the body moving out of the known. It's an unpredictable order, right? It's novelty. So the body genetically and hormonally and chemically and neurologically is going through this kind of chaotic process. But one of the other things they did really well, which was the third thing, is they said,